this is Mr. Evans with this final video in this series of videos on different types of growth, looking at conglomerates and conglomerate integration. So it's this final bit of 3.9.1 and let's get on with it. So conglomerate integration is the final type of integration that you know about, that you need to know about. We've looked at vertical integration, where an organisation expands through integrating the different businesses in its supply chain. So a car manufacturer may buy its components manufacturer, or it may buy a car dealership. But it's integrating the different stages in the production process is vertical integration. Horizontal integration is where a business simply grows through taking over another business within its industry. Conglomerate integration occurs when a business grows through diversifying into industries unrelated to their existing product portfolio. Well, what does that mean? So it might help to look at some examples. Perhaps the most famous example of a conglomerate within the UK is Virgin, the group owned by Richard Branson. Richard Branson started the Virgin Group as a record shop, Virgin Records. He then launched an airline, Virgin Atlantic. Two totally seemingly unrelated industries. A record company that owned the Rolling Stones and flying from one destination to another. These seem unrelated. Actually, I heard a really interesting interview with Richard Branson and Tim Ferriss, which is well worth listening to, where Richard Branson explained that actually, they're in the business of entertainment, and people need entertaining on flights, and there's the kind of connection. But a conglomerate, that on the surface of it, there seems very little link between the businesses that the expansion, the businesses that expand by buying, and their existing product portfolio. Another example would be a huge organisation called Tata. It's an Indian organisation. You may have heard of Tata Steel because they've been in the news a lot because they own Chorus, who are a company based in South Wales, or have at least, they've got various manufacturing plants around the UK. The one that springs to mind for me is the one in Port Talbot in South Wales, because they're thinking of closing that down. Nevertheless, Tata are an Indian group and own a number of brands, some of which you will know, some of which you probably won't. But Land Rover Jaguar are owned by are owned by Tata. And they're in all sorts of industries, some listed here. So they've got chemicals, consumer goods. I know they sell tea, for example. They've got services. You can see they run hotels, energy, communications. So Tata Sky, raw materials, steel, etc., and engineering. Anyway, the group is absolutely huge. They do financial services as well. But that's what a conglomerate is. The conglomerate grows by diversifying into industries unrelated to their existing product portfolio. Another type of integration, it's not actually on the specification, but it's maybe useful for you to know about, is lateral integration. So it's when an organisation grows through diversifying into industries related to their existing product portfolio, but not exactly the same. So it's not horizontal integration, and it's not quite conglomerate integration, and they're not in the same supply chain. This would be lateral integration. So I'll give you an example from 2017, which was IKEA's merger with TaskRabbit. IKEA, of course, sell flat pack furniture. TaskRabbit are a company that put people together with other people who can do jobs, and obviously some people might appreciate some help with putting up flat pack furniture. These organisations are not necessarily the same industry, but they are certainly related, and working together helps them. Again, Google is a search engine, YouTube online kind of entertainment and information. These aren't, Google isn't a supplier to YouTube, it's not the same industry, but they are related. Again, lateral integration is not in the specification, but it's worth just being aware of. But in terms of conglomerate integration, which is on the specification, we are diversifying into industries that are unrelated to the existing product portfolio. Well, what are the advantages of doing that? Well, number one, it diversifies the company's risk over a range of unrelated markets. So, for example, if the record industry, which it obviously did, okay, I can't remember exactly when Virgin Records was started, but I would say it would have been in the 70s. Vinyl was absolutely huge at that time. But in recent years, the record industry has shrunk a lot, starting probably in the, around the 2000s with the start of digital music. So by diversifying into things like airlines, Virgin has been able to reduce its risk of going out of business. There's that phrase about keeping all your eggs in one basket. If you've got a range of different businesses, if one business starts to decline, you've still got revenues being earned in other industries. Management expertise and brand image in one field can be applicable in another. So one thing that Virgin have a really good reputation for is customer service and good management. And customer service and good management are applicable pretty much across any business, particularly in the service sector where Virgin tends to keep itself. And so although the industries are unrelated, the management expertise, brand image may be applicable across a range of different industries. And brands can develop a loyal following, making customers more willing to try new products. So, for example, I might not be particularly interested in joining a gym, but because I got such good service from Virgin Money or the internet company that Virgin operate, I may be more willing, because I think I'm going to get good service, to join a Virgin gym. On the other hand, obviously businesses develop in a particular area because they're good at that. They've got a core competence. So businesses may lack the management expertise in this new area. Who says just because I can run a record company, I can also run a successful airline? It's not guaranteed that that's going to happen. There could be potential damage to the brand image. Let's say we move into an area that we're not particularly good at. Virgin famously didn't do very well in Virgin Cola, or at least they went out of business in that industry. And could that have caused damage to the Virgin brand? Well, maybe it could have done, particularly if that business wasn't well managed. I'm not saying that was the case, but there we go. We can have failures in these new industries that we move into because it is high risk. And we're going to have difficulty maybe transferring our corporate culture. It's difficult enough integrating the cultures in two different businesses. Can we do that across two different industries? It's going to be even more difficult to do so. And, okay, the final point, of course, is we're going to lose the focus on our core competencies, what we're really good at, if we're transferring into industries that are unrelated to what we're really good at.